You know, many people often tell me that Patreon is a good thing. It's a good thing for content creators on YouTube. It's a good thing for small content creators that want to develop their craft. Maybe they want to get a camera. Maybe they want to get some lighting equipment. You know, it's a good thing for up and coming YouTubers. Well, there's a YouTuber that is far from up and coming. I think he's already here. I think he's already established, named Angry Joe. And this is a man who recently rolled out a Patreon. What, do you think I wouldn't talk about this? Rolled out a Patreon about a month ago. And there was a video where it's an angry, I'll leave it linked down below. I forget which exact one it is. It was an angry, one of his news update uploads. And the first thing he talks about, there was a bit in the beginning with other Joe, and they're doing a somewhat funny segment where he's in the bathtub and they're doing like a bathwater segment. But then Joe runs in and he goes, hey, wait, we ain't got to do this anymore. We were approved by the join. Oh, wait, there's another thing. They have the join button now. So it's a double dipping on the E-Beggar in there from Angry Joe. The join and the Patreon. Oh, does that offend anyone? The fact that I called Patreon and join E-Begging? Well, if you're offended, that's fucking too bad, all right? Angry Joe Vargas, he's not a small channel. This man has 3.22 million subscribers. I went on over to a Social Blade. He has an estimated monthly earnings of 3.1 thousand to 48.9 thousand. Generally, it's in the middle. Of that, so he's making around $25,000 a month. It's quite a bit on ad revenue alone. Okay, that figure, keep that in your head. That's just on ad revenue alone. But he has lots of sponsorship deals. He does his e-begging on Twitch. Oh, does that offend anyone? Getting donations on Twitch, e-begging, playing games, getting your little donations for playing your little video games. Sorry if that offends anybody too. So that figure is probably a lot higher than $25,000 a month. But let's remember here, Patreon, I'm told, is a good thing. Small YouTube creators, it's a great thing to get you started. But we're seeing Patreon used now by people like Angry Joe. You might say to yourself, Angry Joe using a Patreon and a join, okay? Didn't he campaign for years? I think he recently had a video I see here talking about, I think, a new Dead or Alive game. I'm not sure which game it is, but he's complaining about a lot of money in optional microtransactions in the game. Okay. Angry Joe, you are a fucking hypocrite. If you have a Patreon and you are a gaming YouTuber and you complain about microtransactions in video games, optional transactions, right? What is your goddamn argument for your Patreon? Which essentially is, say it with me, optional transactions. It's optional, right? It's all optional. That's what I hear about Patreon too. Hey, you ain't got to donate. It's optional. I mean, we got benefits and stuff for you if you donate, okay? But it's optional. I'm not even going to get into the bullshit that is his Patreon. I might in the future upload. But keep that in mind. 3.22 million subscribers. He gets 12.22 million views every 30 days. Looks like on Social Blade, I guess the red is bad. He's down 22.6 in views. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe his channel is down on views and he's got to make up that difference somehow. Now, after he mentions his Patreon, guess what he talks about? He talks about being dropped by his MCN, Disney. But he wasn't the only one that was dropped by Disney. But right after, I'm talking about, and like I said, I'll leave a link to it down below so you can check it out and tell me what you think. Right after he talks about his Patreon, unveils it, he mentions that he was dropped by his MCN. And in order to get sympathy, see, sympathy is the tool used by a lot of these motherfuckers. It's the sympathy, right? So he's trying to make people feel bad because he was dropped by an MCN. Here's the weird thing, though. More than a week earlier, let's see if I got it here. And I'll try to leave a link to this, but if you want to find it, go to his Twitter feed and check it out for December 10th. He says, and I quote, "This'll be a good thing in the end." Joe, which one is it? You said on December 10th, it's going to be a good thing in the end. But then, right after unveiling your Patreon, you try to make everybody feel bad for you. You know, you're scared about YouTube. Spoiler alert, people like Angry Joe are not scared about YouTube. All right? Unless he's just burning through all the money he makes every month with ad revenue, with Twitch. Okay, maybe he's a big spender. I'm not sure. If you're making as much money as Joe Vargas is, you are not afraid. But here's the thing. You're greedy. If you unveil a Patreon, you unveil a join button after making as much money as Angry Joe, you are greedy. You are greedy, plain and simple. So that's what's going on here. He needed a reason. He needed a reason to sell to the angry army that he was going to come out and start his E-Beggar. He needed a reason to sell it to the angry army. So his defense, I guess, is, well, you never know what's going to happen on YouTube, so you have to diversify, you have to plan for the future. I recently talked about planning for the future. Joe, if you want to plan for the future, if there's a possible future after YouTube, after Twitch, maybe you won't be a gaming YouTuber in your 50s and 60s. Maybe no one will give a shit. Maybe you need to, I don't know. And maybe you do have a college education. Maybe you do have a backup. But planning for the future is not Patreon. Joe, Patreon is e-begging. E-begging and shaking your little tin cup, I don't care if it has a nice little Angry Joe show logo, is not planning for the fucking future, all right? Now, at the end of this tweet, you say, you think MCNs have really just taken advantage of us old schoolers. Taken advantage of. Kind of like you're doing with your audience, right? Here's the thing. You should have mentioned to your audience thinking about donating to you. Not just you, but a lot of other big YouTubers. You should consider and think about telling them about how much money you make on YouTube and Twitch. Okay? It's weird. It's weird. I see a common theme. There's no disclosure of how much money you're actually making online before you start your fucking e-begging. It would be a different thing if you came out jokingly and said, I'm fucking Angry Joe. You can't go anywhere on YouTube without tripping over one of my game review videos. Why would you even give me money? You're stupid for giving me money. Now, if you did that, that would actually be kind of funny. You'd still be fucking e-begging having a Patreon, but that would be kind of funny. But why is it there's one consistency I always see? Big YouTuber, small YouTuber, it doesn't matter. Always with the fucking sympathy stories. Joe, fuck you and fuck your bullshit, sad sympathy story. All that's missing is maybe a thumbnail with you like a little tear. Fuck you, Joe. I'll leave it at that.